Hey guys, welcome to Tiger Tropics. Today I'm going to be doing a water change on my 260. As you can see, started dropping the water down already. I'm going to drain it right down, show the process of cleaning all the bits and pieces within the tank and what it entails to do so. Thank you. Okay, so I normally drain it down to somewhere near this level now, and obviously the detritus sits on leaves and that kind of stuff when you've got to plant your tank. So the best thing to do first is ruffle the plants to dislodge any type of detritus that's sitting, because high flow tanks you may have less of this. Lower flow tanks, now previous episodes that I've done, I had quite a high flow within this tank. Now what I'm doing is lowering it because the fish just don't like it. Also with big leaf plants and some of your rockery, because you get stuff sitting on it, take a little sponge like that, wet it, and just go over it very lightly. Very lightly. You don't want to take off too much. Plus I like the fact that the stuff looks a little bit weathered, you know. Remember to go over everything, make sure that bits of old leaf and stuff like that are picked up also, which you're going to kind of do when you drain out the rest of it. Now just give these leaves a little bit of a scrub. Just try to dislodge stuff off the glass, which you can see a lot of muck comes off. I'll go over. Like this. Do a good old scrub. But obviously don't go stupid, you don't want to scratch the glass up. Now the intention is keeping the tank clean, but also keeping it looking good. So, right round. Okay. So next stage is, just as you're draining, try to take out as much of the big debris out of the tank as what you can. So when you drain it down, you get in all the small debris and all the large debris. I'm going to go over that with a net as well before I start to refill it. Okay, so basically I use my little pump here that I put into the water at this sort of level, to the level that I'm going to drain down to. So yeah, going to be about that sort of level, and then let it go. Right, so drain quite a bit of the water out now. It's quite a big water change I'm going to do. Turn this off. Take the pump out. Obviously some people are not using a pump. To be honest, I couldn't be doing with all the buckets, emptying buckets out and stuff, because I've done that when I first started. Found that just rigging up a little water change system really saves you so much time. Now what I need to do now is just take out the big bits and pieces. So, like around the filter and stuff like that. Just, it's general cleaning. Just make sure that there's no bits and pieces. Okay, totally wrecked that. Take out like bits and pieces out of the tank. So yeah, you haven't got things that are degrading in there. The last thing you want is ammonia spikes, nitrite. You know, you want to help out the filtration best you can. So clean out stuff like the end of the filter, and like I say, any bits and pieces. I'll sometimes go a little bit further and I'll sieve through the sand as well, just for excess debris, or debris, however way you want to say it. If you do that, you'll notice a whole load of stuff in there. And the sand, to be honest, look pretty clean. So, it might be worth it. Some people just go like this with their hands. Obviously, when you're doing this as well, downside I suppose is that if there's any bits of like food particles that go through the net, they're going to get caught within the sand and then create little pockets. But see, the jury's out on the actual trapping of particles in the sand and whether it actually creates harmful gases. Some people say it's a misnomer. I'm not one of them learned people, I don't know. I'm trial and error most stuff that I do. So far so good. So yeah, seems to be alright. I don't seem to have any adverse effects. I do these water changes once a week, and again, some people say that's a bit too much. But since I've been cleaning my tank like this, I've had no fish die. I found that the levels are always roughly where they should be, and yeah, general cleanliness of the tank and the filters have been all right. You know, especially when you've got larger fish like this, which poop and wee and all the rest of it in the water. Trying to keep the thing clean, I think, is a good idea. But yeah, that's it. So now time to start filling the tank up. Okay, so this stage now, we're letting the nitrate removal, which contains DI resin in it, to run for about 2 minutes, which is recommended before we start filling the tank up. Okay, so now we're filling up the tank. Fingers crossed. Should look beautiful and clear and lovely. And normally when you fill up the tank as well, you get a lot of activity from the fish. And yeah, it's actually quite a satisfying moment. I know there's a lot of people that really dislike doing water changes, but despite me being a klutz most of the time and getting water everywhere, I genuinely like doing water changes because I get to clean the tank itself, and yeah, the fish seem to like it as well. So after, when I step back and have a look at the tank and look at the clarity and everything, I get a sense of accomplishment every week. So yeah, this is part of the husbandry, which I really like. So yeah, I think so. Before, what I used to do is just leave it for a long time, and I wouldn't do water changes and or filter cleans, and always ran into problems with the fish and with general look, with algae and stuff like that. And to be honest, it normally takes me about, when I've had the 3 tanks, it would take me about an hour to do all 3 when I was on it. Sometimes I just take my time, and you know, I'm hoping that in the future when I get another tank, I'm looking at, fingers crossed, that I can afford the 8-footer that I want, and then that's going to be an experience doing water changes on that. But while I've got something automated the way it is, yeah, I get no, I get satisfaction in doing water changes. Much more appealing. Always make sure that the temperature doesn't go out of hand, because what I'm doing is pouring straight from the tap. And don't forget, like, I'm not sponsored by Seachem, but this product I really like. So don't forget to put your dechlorinator in when you're doing your water change. Little drop like that should be enough, and that will take out the chlorine and the chloramine out of the water. So yeah, not to toxify the fish. So next stage will be the tank full and putting all the filters and everything on. Remember, when you're doing your water changes, make sure that your heater and your filter is off. Can get away with having your filter on, but I like to have the whole thing off. Yeah, your water, your heater and your filter, just basically the light on. Allows me to, it allows for the water to be static for me to then sift through and clean stuff and all the rest of it. Once you put the filter and everything on, it starts churning stuff over. More bits and pieces will rise. Then you have another little clean up. That's pretty much you done. Okay, so at this stage now, tank's full. As you notice, it's got a lot of bubbles and stuff. Remember to put on your heater and your filter and all that stuff. What I'm going to do now, start the circulation off. Obviously, even though you've done the water change, you're going to have these bubbles and the bits and pieces. That's all going to clear. Once it clears, and then obviously you're going to get that element where you're like, yeah, it's done. So yeah, there you go. That's how I do a water change. Hopefully that helps you out as well. Enjoy. Like and subscribe. Tiger Tropics. Share the videos. Please support the channel. I mean, I'm still very small and still at a very early stage. Comment as well, negative or positive. I'll take them either way. And yeah, please get involved and share the videos. Thank you.